Thank you, Chairman Casey. And if you listen closely, it's worth repeating, $3.4 billion. That's what scammers got out of American seniors in 23. They're coming from all kinds of places, Mexico, China, a lot of African countries. One of these criminals they received the money, it is basically gone, almost impossible to get it back. They impersonate others, fabricate stories, make false promises, so many different ways, and the only way is to prevent it once it just starts to occur. That's why we need to prioritize education and outreach so older adults recognize these red flags immediately. Our community banks and credit unions are often on the first line of defense, intervening where they can see from their own past experience that something looks askew. In my home state of Indiana, one community bank already has avoided $1.2 million in one community bank. That's a lot. Local law enforcement also play a crucial role in scam prevention by investigating these cases, alerting the public of something that's out there. Scammers are always looking for that next loophole, including federal programs, because this place has got so much money, so many programs, and is probably the defenseless of anything out there. We've talked about the fraud in Medicare alone, which is astounding, the amount of money. $60 billion due to fraud, errors, and abuse, most of it fraud. Every dollar lost to fraud is a dollar that can't be spent on what the program's intended to do. In these scams, Medicare numbers are used to purchase medical equipment that a senior doesn't need. This leads to additional co-payments and out-of-pocket costs and can use up an enrollee's benefits faster. Medicare fraud directly hurts taxpayers and individual seniors, and we are still trying to figure out exactly how pervasive it is because there's so much spent in that category. In March, I led a letter to the GAO requesting a full audit of Medicare fraud. GAO began that audit in July. This will be the most comprehensive audit in the history of Medicare, long overdue. The results will uncover just how much fraudsters are stealing from the American taxpayer in one of our programs that's so important, along with Social Security, Medicaid, and ironically, the three that drive some of our structural deficits anyway. We can't afford one penny of fraud. We know that CMS can do more to stop fraud, and we're going to keep pushing to see that they do it. I introduced the Medicare Transaction Fraud Prevention Act with Senator Cassidy, which empowers CMS to conduct a fraud detection pilot utilizing AI to detect scams so that CMS can quickly alert the Medicare beneficiary, similar to what credit card companies do. They're pretty good at it because that's the place where most fraud occurs in our country. The 2024 fraud book highlights many of the scams targeting older Americans and provides information on how to recognize the red flags. Anybody out there listening, get a hold of your representative, your senator, and get a hold of this because it is the best, probably small, short, concise book that can give you a heads up. Look forward to hearing from our witnesses so we can learn more about it, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.